We all know the problems, but sometimes, unless you ask the right questions, you're not going to get the answers or even the resources that you desire to help change things. I had a case that I took care of not too long ago. It was a young man, and he just kept saying, "Don't let me die, don't let me die, don't let me die." But at this point, he was already pale, and he had lost so much blood. So in a matter of minutes, he died. And it's one of those things that it sits with you, and no matter how many things pass and how many different situations or even patients that you come in contact with, this is something that you hate to have to relive. But I think part of it, because of what we've been doing with youth in the community and in the hospital, it doesn't bother me as much. It doesn't mean that I've accepted that this is a problem in the community, because we know it exists, but we also know that there's a way out of this. My name is Dr. Rob Gore. I'm an emergency medicine physician in Brooklyn, New York. I am also the founder and the executive director of the CAVI program, which is the Kings Against Violence Initiative, and we are a youth violence intervention, prevention, and empowerment program. I'm working in the emergency department, in particular our trauma area. You see people coming in with chest pain, you see people coming in with respiratory problems, but when the weather gets pretty warm, or if it's a weekend, you tend to see a lot more issues of interpersonal violence, and the majority of those cases tend to be men of color. It's one of those things that it happens so frequently in our emergency departments. It's something that you see so often, and unfortunately, many people view it as a habit. But despite it being, unfortunately, being a habit as far as just the issue of recurrent violence, it's not something that you tend to get used to. It's something that you either you become numb by it, or you get to the point where you have to start doing something about it. And that's one of the things that a task that I started to take on, looking at the issues of violence involving men of color and women of color. Instead of actually talking about the issues of violence, we wanted to create solutions to that to help affect recidivism associated with recurrent injury, but most importantly, being in a position to create opportunity for young people of color. The goal is not to end interpersonal violence. That's a long shot. The most important thing is that we are in positions to create opportunities. We're striving to make sure that what we say, what we do, how we act, how we interact, and what we create is impactful and meaningful. My name is Dr. Rob Gore, and the question I am asking you is, what are you going to do to play your part in developing solutions for the viability of our community?